What's up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast, episode number 4 already. And in this video, we're going to be looking over mock draft, the first round after free agency. I'm joined again by Richie and Reed, and this time also Christian Wisk, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, for sure. What's up, everyone? My name is Christian Wisk. I'm currently a regional scout for the Dream Bowl and the co-founder of Top Dog Coverage. So it's where we cover NFL news, fits. We do some draft coverage as well. So really excited to be part of the show today.
Yeah, I love having you on. And just wanted to quickly go over and say that this video is brought to you by Nirvana Sports. As always, thank you again to them and Dr. Joshua Greer for that. Let's go ahead and get right into it, guys. We can go ahead and start off with the number 1 pick. Yeah, Reed, you want to let me know who you're taking here?
Yeah, so I'll be doing the AFC East and AFC West for this episode. Shouldn't be much of a choice. The only other quarterback on Vegas' roster is Aiden O'Connell. Give me Fernando Mendoza. I think he really is not the best prospect in the draft, just purely, but he's a good quarterback. I think there's been a little bit of discussion of how good he is or if he's just better than everyone else in the class, but I think Mendoza at 1 is a very obvious pick here.
You sure we're not taking Drew Aller here?
Yeah.
I was thinking about Diego Pavia. I really was.
Oh,
Wow.
Christian hasn't even seen that yet. That's from last video. Ooh, that'll be a fun one. There we go. Mendoza off the board at number 1. We got the Jets.
All right, I'm working with the Jets too, and I have a little bit of a hot pick here because he's not the top-ranked edge, but I do think he's incredibly flexible, and I think he's a really good fit for New York. I have the Jets taking David Bailey. The Jets ranked 5th worst in overall pressure rate. I know a lot of people are going to say Arvell Reese, he's a hybrid backer. He'd fit really well into that system. I think it's a lot better to have a staple, flexible pass rusher, not great against the run, but that really wasn't New York's problem. It was the inability to create pressure. That's why they had 0 turnovers last season. I think David Bailey's a little bit of a hot pick here, but I think he fits so well in the Jets offense that just desperately needs a dedicated pass rusher or defense.
Let me ask you this. Is there something that you don't like about Ruben Bain that makes you go this way?
I think with Ruben Bain, I'm not someone who freaks out about measurables too much, but I would rather have a guy who I think David Bailey has the widest range of pass rushing ability. He has the widest set of moves. I think his twitch is just a little bit better than Ruben Bain's. I think Ruben Bain's a better run defender, but I think for the Jets, they just get the defensive version of a spark plug here, someone who can kill drives on 2nd and 8 and 2nd and 9 with a crucial sack. And that's just something that could give the Jets a lot more value than I think we, or most people, assess that they do. So I'm going with a hot pick at David Bailey.
All right. I have the Cardinals here with the 3rd overall pick. Obviously QB is a big need for them. I don't think they go Mendoza here. I think they go Arvell Reese.
Considering Mendoza's off the board, I would also agree.
Yeah, that helps.
Obviously he's got positional versatility. He can rush off the edge. He can play off-ball linebacker. Right at 4.46, 40. He's got size. He's got everything you want. If you guys got any comments on him too, by all means.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of covered it there. You do wonder about potentially at the next level his actual ability to play as a true edge rusher, which he probably won't be. That's I guess the number 1 question potentially for him with his versatility, just because he's not big enough, I guess, to stick out there at edge the entire time. Nobody else? Nothing else?
I mean, I think you kind of covered it all with Reese. The size concerns me.
Not too much more to add there.
Got it. All right, well, then with the Titans pick, I'm going to be going with Ruben Bain here. I think this is just kind of the best overall player remaining, as well as the biggest need for this team, given what's on the board. I'm not gonna really reach up here and take anybody at a different position. Yeah, you could argue maybe this team needs a running back with Jeremiah Love, but they've got, what is it, Tony Pollard's still there. I think he's serviceable enough. I don't think I'm really going to be too hard-pressed to find a running back later in the draft if I need to. This is a pretty solid running back class. So Ruben Bain, I don't think his arsenal is that much worse than David Bailey's. And I
That's
think
fair.
his twitch again is right there. Again, like you said, he is a better run defender. Um, I think if we're talking a true pass rusher, if we weren't considering age at all, I think that Akeem Mesidor would probably go before Bain and David Bailey. Um,
That's fair.
just
Yeah, I
based
hadn't
on,
thought about that.
but
Mhm.
obviously he's going to be really old when the contract is up. He already is very old. I believe he's 24, 25. That's Diego Pavia age for those tracking. And he's just old. That's the draw on him. That's he's just old and more likely to like not be durable longer into his NFL career. Whereas you've got Bain, who's a younger, way younger than him at least, and you can just see the flashes. He's got everything you want with your edge rusher. He does need to grow in some parts, and I know that everybody's gonna be talking about the short arms, T-Rex arms. Well, when he's going up against another guy in the AFC at left tackle, his initials are WC. I think he'll be all right. You know, it's a pretty easy pick. You put it all together. I probably blabbering a little bit too much on Bane there. But move on to the Giants here. My friend Ryan Luke, shout out to you. You're gonna absolutely love this pick because I know you've been talking about it since before the draft combine. It's gonna be Sonny Styles. I'm not really gonna dive too deep into it. I think he was the best linebacker on Ohio State this season. I know Arvell Reese exists. I'm not discrediting him or anything he did. I just think that Sonny Styles is an absolute freak of nature. Converted safety down to linebacker, and he is just a dog. I don't know if anyone else wants to comment on that and add more, but this guy is really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think
I
he
mean,
adds to that New York Giants, back seven there. I mean, he's such an athlete, great linebacker. I mean, I think he slots in nice in John Harbaugh's defense there.
So,
On to the
All right.
Browns.
Got the Cleveland Browns. So I got the AFC North and the NFC South. So I'm on the clock here with the Browns. Could go a lot of different ways, a lot of different directions with this Browns team. Obviously, they're picking high again, quarterback, a lot of different needs. But I think realistically, whoever plays quarterback for them this year needs a really big go-to target. And so I'm going to be taking the receiver Carnell Tate out of Ohio State. Arguably the number one receiver in this class. He's got the size. Ran a 4.53 at the combine. But I think he really gives whoever plays quarterback that big body target. He did better with his possession catches and catching through traffic. So I'm really excited to see Carnell Tate in that offense.
Yeah. Anyone
it's
else want to comment on that?
such a good all rounder. Yeah, he is immensely talented. With Cleveland, you really don't want to go down the alley of having to pick. Honestly, if I was Cleveland, I would look for free agency quarterbacks. Given my drafting quarterback history, there's no good quarterback to take after Mendoza. I think Carnell Tate is a really good fit. I think whoever's there, whether is it still Shador in the mix?
Yeah, it's not Dylan Gabriel,
yeah.
so
Yeah, it's not Dylan Gabriel. So, I mean, just get someone who can begin to anchor your offense around. And Carnell Tate, I like that pick a lot.
yeah, I agree fully with Christian and Reed with what he said. I'm going to go ahead and move on now to the Commanders here, the number 32 defense scoring wise, or actually yards wise. This is a team that needs a lot of help in the secondary, especially on the back end with safety too. I think you can kind of already tell based on that comment who I'm going to take here. I know that there's a lot of fans that would be hoping that he falls, but I'm not going to let Caleb Downs fall. I don't care about the degenerative ACL. I understand it's there. We saw the same thing with, I believe it was Will Johnson, and he still went somewhat high. I don't think it's that big of a concern because if it was, then teams would be completely fading him, and they're not. Caleb Downs it was the best safety, the best defensive back the last 2 seasons in college. He was also the best, one of the probably the another top 5 safety his freshman season at Alabama. He's just very, very consistent. There's talks about him potentially being like a glorified box safety. I don't entirely see that. I think he's good enough all around to get it done at the next level. There's still some things he has to work on, obviously, with that, adapting outside of being worked into the box a lot more like he has been. But, his pass coverage at some points can be shaky, but for the most part, he is pretty dang good there. So yeah, I guess I'll turn it over to you guys if you want any comments.
Yeah, I think Caleb Downs was one of the best defenders. In college football this past year, I think he's very good. Obviously, I just think positional value. Obviously, like that's not why he's going higher. He's a safety, but still, pick 7 is great for him. That's
Yeah,
solid.
I love Caleb Downs. He's one of my favorite players in this class, man. I mean, with how smart he is and like he's such an enforcer. Yeah, he plays a lot of in the box, but he's so fluid as an athlete. He doesn't have any like elite traits outside of his I guess football mind or whatnot. But man, he is such a stud. He can elevate any defense there.
Yeah, that's all you need sometimes when you're playing safety. You are kind of the second quarterback for the defense. So just being aware and being able to preemptively play out things, it makes such a difference on defense. It's a difference between a completion and a sack sometimes, is how quickly you can jump a read. So I think he fits really well there as well.
Yeah, and Dan Quinn, I think will know a way to utilize him,
Oh,
especially.
definitely.
For sure. All right. I guess we're about on to pick 8, New Orleans Saints. Just for the record, guys, this is my favorite team. So I'll be taking a long time on this pick. No, I'm just kidding. So far, the way that the board's gone, yeah, you would love Carnell Tate. Hopefully, he would have made it to this pick. Also, a huge fan of Caleb Downs as well in New Orleans. But with the way the board fell, I actually like this a lot. I'm going to go with cornerback Mansour Delane. He's easily the best corner in this draft. They just lost Alante Taylor in free agency. You can put him on the outside with Kool-Aid McKinstry and have Quincy Riley play in the slot. And I just think you solidify that back half for Brandon Staley's defense.
Shout out Cards there. Yeah, I mean, I love Mansour Delane. He had the best pass rating allowed by far out of any of the guys that we've charted, and that's for good reason. He's just really sticking in coverage, and he's very smart. There's a reason he was extremely highly touted when he was transferring from VT, and LSU was lucky to have him. Obviously, the team was not perfect last season, but he was a very, very very, very big bright spot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think he's got so much upside too as well. I mean, I think Mansour Lane can turn into an All-Pro. Of course, like I love this pick for New Orleans. I really wanted him with the Rams.
Yeah, I really wanted him on the Dolphins. Yeah.
Apologies, guys. He's got to stay in Louisiana.
Maybe. No, I think that makes a lot of sense. He's just you can really put him anywhere on the defense as a defensive back, and he plays pretty damn well. I mean, there's not really a miss. You can't really miss with that kind of player on your defense, especially if you're building back up like New Orleans is.
Yeah, and they've got a lot of building to do. And they're going to have to do it mostly through the draft as well, considering their cap space.
Well, speaking of a team that doesn't really have to build that much, we have the Chiefs next. I think Francis, I'm probably going to butcher it. Is it Francis Mauigoa?
Maui Noah.
Francis Mauigoa. I'm going to roll with him. Kansas City is a team that ranked top 10 in rushing EPA, but they were really rough outside of the tackles. This Chiefs team, in most of their Super Bowl runs, they love to lean on their run. They actually play a much more run-adjacent style, and it's one of the reasons why they do so well in a ton of cold weather games. I think this is like a very minor addition. A lot of people are going to look at Travis Kelce's age and say, what do you do about that? But I think Mauigoa is just a no-brainer here. The Chiefs are weak at tackle. They're pretty much just a few pieces away from being an AFC contender again. And I think Maui Noah, does that for them.
Good.
Yeah, it's a good pick. All right, I think it's back me, right? Pick 10, the Cincinnati Bengals. So when I'm looking at this Cincinnati team, there's two things that really stand out: is how awful their defense was last year, and how the hell do we protect Joe Burrow, right? So those are two things that are really going into this pick for me. And I think they've got some decent tackles on the outside. I think really that interior pressure is really where it starts to become an issue for this offense. So I'm actually going to be looking at the guard that I'm going to completely butcher his name, but it's Ali Vega Ione, the Penn State guard. This might be a little high for him at pick 10, but I just think he's such a mauler. He's such a a beast on that offensive line. I think he's an elite guard prospect, and I think he'll instantly come in and be able to help improve that offensive line and keep Burrow upright.
No, I agree. I love Vega. I'm just keeping it short because I would butcher it too. He's really, really good. There was always buzz coming into the season about him going potentially first round. I don't think anybody thought he could go in the top half of the first round as well, but he's really that good. I think he's probably, I guess, right behind Maui Noah. He's the best. I mean, he is the best offensive lineman in this class.
Yeah.
There's some guys with more versatility for sure, with like Spencer Fano, and other guys, and maybe Monroe Freeling has the highest ceiling, but Vegas, I think he's definitely got an argument to be the best offensive lineman in this class.
All right. This is I actually had Mansour Lane as my first pick for the Dolphins, my backup as Oliva Vega. So this is just all right. I mean, that's fine. I think I'm probably gonna roll with Dylan Thieneman
Yeah.
at safety, and I butchered his name, didn't I?
No, it's Thieneman. You got it right. But
It's
I
Thieneman?
was gonna go with
Okay, I
him.
was afraid
Thieneman.
I was gonna butcher that because I didn't. Yeah, I mean, in this case, you look at Miami's one of their like 20 or some team like roster holes. Um, like I would love to get Mansour Delane first. Miami's secondary does not have a guy who has more than 30 tackles starting for them right now. I think if you get a potential hit with Thieneman at safety, I think corner is more of a problem for Miami, but don't get me wrong, they still have a safety issue. It is a disaster on defense, and I do believe the flexibility that Thieneman plays at is going to give Miami as much help as they can get, which is really what you're looking at for the Dolphins next year. Someone who can cover as many holes as possible because there are going to be a lot of holes on this team. So I go with Thieneman as a third round, or not a third, sorry, a backup pick now.
I just came in and ruining your entire draft read. I'm
I
sorry.
know you're just making a damper on my day.
I was
Yeah.
gonna take Thieneman next. Shout out Westfield, Indiana. Thieneman, 3-star going to Purdue and then transferring to Oregon after his sophomore season. I love him. He's fantastic. He's actually part of, with Bryce Betcher, another draft prospect, the CCU is essentially Exciting Whites, which whatever. But it was he was really good. He was fun to watch. He was really fun to watch, and then you saw all the off on the in the off season, him coming up the boards. Like you just saw him, his stock was rising, and then he goes to the combine and he runs in the 4.3s, and then everyone's like, "Whoa, hey now, like we should probably pay more of attention to him." And he's a guy that can play in the nickel. He can play deep safety, whatever. Like he can play. He's very versatile. I mean, I wouldn't put him at obviously boundary corner or anything, but he can play those at least. And he's going to be very good at them. He's going to be serviceable for several years. So I think it is one of those picks, like what you're saying, someone who can cover up a lot of holes. That is exactly what Thieneman would do.
Just like Gorilla Glue, man. He can play down the run fit. He can roll high and play, a traditional safety style coverage. And he can also man up just fine as well. We see him do it all at Oregon. So I still like the pick.
All right, so Cowboys next. This is my team, unfortunately. And also, unfortunately, I have to take a corner, and my options aren't necessarily the greatest considering that Mansour Lane's off the board and Dylan Thieneman's off the board. Jermon McCoy did not play last season, coming off the ACL injury. I think, the Cowboys, if you're looking at what they did last year, they were able to get a potential first-round pick originally before he got hurt. Savon Ravel later on down the board.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't really play that great this season when he came back. I wonder if they vetted him with, I don't know if they've actually vetted him with the team doctor that is McCoy. I saw a practice video of, him just running this week and looked fine. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, and I am going to stay clear away from a guy who is coming off an ACL injury and did not play the entirety of last year. That worries me quite a bit. And linebacker, I don't know if I want to take CJ Allen here. I think it's a little rich for him at this point of the draft. He's a guy that I hope is there at 20. But it's not even like, okay, if he's at 20, I'm 100% taking him. So here I'm going to be taking Avion Terrell. I really like him. I've liked him for a couple of years now. It was kind of close with him, Hood, and Cisse. The latter two, both transfers from other places. Hood from Colorado and Cisse from NC State. But Terrell is just my pick. I don't really have anything to comment too much about him. It's simply that, I mean, he can play. He's going to be playing on the outside. Schematically, with the defense, they're going to a 3-4 this year. The Cowboys are. They've got, you've got Ravel, you've got Bland, who's going to be playing on the outside. So I think Bland is best suited though on the inside. So if you can take a boundary corner here and potentially bump, Bland back to the inside at the nickel spot, that would be ideal. You've got Ravel, Darian Kendrick, you've got Deron Bland, Kobe Durant. Currently, your starting nickel is Reddy Stewart, so I think it's definitely a good idea to bump Deron Bland to the inside, and go ahead and insert if maybe Avion Terrell needs a year to get better, but he'd probably be your third cornerback right away at very worst, and then maybe Kobe Durant's able to start and take that second spot. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go with Avion Terrell.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I thought you were gonna go with Jermod McCoy there, but Avion Terrell, obviously still a very solid player. I think 12 might be a little high for him in my opinion, but I mean, it's your draft decision as well as I mean, yeah, I would take Jermod McCoy in that situation. Also, I wouldn't put it past the Cowboys taking Jeremiah Love with that pick as well, but
Yeah, especially if he's on the board this late. I mean, I can see that as well.
yeah.
I am a little shocked to see him continue to slide, by the way. I'm kind of waiting for one of you guys to take him, so.
Yeah, I feel like that's a Cowboys pick taking a great running back at 12. I mean, I don't know.
Defense. Yeah, we'll take another great running back.
Yeah. All right.
Let me not be Jerry Jones, guys.
Yeah.
Gotta pay the fastest player you can find, man. We need 3 Jalen Tolberts.
Oh,
Well-
don't even get me started on him.
Now, I mean, I have a decision to make because I really thought you were going to take Jermod McCoy there. But Kenyon Sadiq is really talking to me. The Rams run the highest amount of 12 and 13 personnel. And,
True.
quite frankly, if Sadiq went there, it would be bad for the league. So I think I'm going to go Kenyon Sadiq.
Question for you. So they spent a third round pick on Terrence Ferguson from the same college.
Yep. Yeah.
I thought he was
so
a
they-
second round. Wasn't he a second rounder?
Maybe if your memory's better than mine. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I'm not too sure.
But they spent an early pick on him.
I just think so they have Kobe Parkinson, Terrence Ferguson, and Tyler Higbee. Obviously, I think they might think that they have that room solidified, but when there's such a talent available as Kenyon Sadiq, I just don't, especially with someone that would fit in their system so well. I would love that pick for them at 13.
Over
To be
Mackay and Jermod McCoy. Interesting, but I can see it. I see the vision.
I mean, yeah, in this situation though too, Jermod McCoy like at 13 would be perfect for them too. It'd solidify their corners, but I just went with Sadiq.
All right. Yeah, so it puts Baltimore in a pickle here because I was hoping that he would fall there since there's only 2 tight ends on the roster with Mark Andrews, who's aging out, and Durham Smythe, who's now on the team. But Baltimore.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So Baltimore, it's an interesting spot, right? They had the drama with the Max Crosby trade. They signed Trey Hendrickson now. So what we really need to do is I want to add some more stuff around Lamar Jackson, right? Some more playmakers, build around the offensive line. But also Derrick Henry's not going to play forever. And Jeremiah Love's sitting right there, which could make a fascinating 1-2 punch with, Lamar back there in the backfield. So it's really tempting. And I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on this?
I mean,
Baltimore?
Derrick Henry and Jeremiah Love together would create one of the best rushing backfields I think we've seen in a while.
Yeah,
And it would take a bunch of pressure off him, right?
Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, it's
It
sticking
could.
me
I
like the
think
Goblin Mask here.
it's so hard because the guard play, like the interior line play, is going to be so rough in Baltimore.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know how confident you are in drafting a running back when the tackle play is the really thing, like the only thing on that offense that's, above average. But I mean, I think at this point, if Jeremiah Love falls any farther, I think we're just getting out of like the domain of realism here. I think the Ravens would probably
Yeah.
take him. This is a steal.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to take Love just to create one of the best backfields
Yeah.
in the history of the game, and I'm going to sit back and I'm going to watch them run, and it's going to be amazing. So
It's gonna be fun. Yeah.
yeah.
Then run
So-
right into the guard that's pushing back, Daniel Fayele. I'm kidding.
And they did sign John Simpson, from the
Okay, there
Jets,
you
so
go.
that might help, And I think that's something that's a team that probably will try to move up and target like Jake Slaughter at center, since
I like that.
they don't
I like that a
they
lot,
have
actually.
Yeah, I
Big
can see
hole
that.
there,
They
so.
they need interior line help badly. It is a disaster there. If they can get it though, they could be a really good team.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm back on the clock. I'm pick 15 with the Buccaneers
Alright.
here. So I feel like this Buccaneers team just completely fell apart from midseason on, and their defense was a big reason why. But also half the team, or almost the entire team, got hurt. And this one's tough. I'm looking at linebacker. You signed a couple free agents with Alex Anzalone and Christian Roseboom coming in. You had Levante David just retire, but I don't know if I'm ready to pull the trigger on that quite yet. Edge. Yeah, I think we need to increase that pass rush. I think edge could be a really realistic spot. You signed Al-Qaeda Muhammad on a 1 year, I think $4 million deal. And, I like Cassius Howell a lot. I think he's a great athlete. I know he's also has the short arms and whatnot. I've heard a lot of Akeem Messidor going there as well. But I'm actually going to go TJ Parker, the edge out of Clemson. I think he could fit in well in that Todd Bowles defense, and just give him another big body pass rusher and let him go to work.
I was going to ask you what your thoughts were on those 4 edge rushers there, because I actually don't really love Cassius Howell. I don't think he had a great season this year. I saw like there was a stat that just from looking over the games and whatnot, the game log for Cassius Howell. I think it was 20% or 30% of his sacks came from one game, and it was against a true freshman offensive tackle or something like that against LSU. I don't know. I don't know that I love him, especially him and Keldrick Falk. The two of them, I think it's pretty tough there. I don't really love either prospect. And then Akeem Messidor, you get the age. So
Yeah.
I think TJ Parker, I actually like that pick. I like between the 4 of those guys, I think he made the right pick there.
Yeah, I just think all 4 of them on the board, they all have kind of some warts, but I think TJ Parker has the higher ceiling between all of them. So.
Yep.
All right, Jets time. I really wanted Avion Terrell just so I could have I could completely fix the Jets turnover problem or interception problem. But I think this pick, I'm going to go with Mekhi Lemon. I think this pick, yes, the Jets have Garrett Wilson. Yes, Geno Smith is playing quarterback, but this is not the position to take Ty Simpson. I do like Ty Simpson, but you still have plenty of picks. Like you could trade up if you wanted to, but I think Mekhi Lemon's a really good Swiss Army knife wide receiver. Garrett Wilson, I believe, was hurt for the majority of last season. Yeah. And without him, there's not really a second option. I was just looking at the depth chart. It's Adonai Mitchell and Isaiah Williams. Neither of which had more than 400 receiving yards last season. So even if Garrett Wilson comes back 100%, you want a reliable 2 option. And yes, Geno Smith is playing quarterback. It's going to be kind of ugly. But if you have 2 playmakers, maybe less interceptions will be thrown. You got to think about it that way with New York. It's kind of grim.
Agreed.
I mean, Yeah, I got nothing.
I think yeah.
So
Really quickly, I'll
wait, you
hop
got
in
it. You
here.
got it.
I think
Yeah.
next year's the year where you take a quarterback. Considering the class, everyone's gonna hype it up. They say it's way better than it's actually gonna end up being. They do the same thing every year. But I think like the Jets pick would have probably been Dante Moore, and I think that would have been the correct pick at that point. Um, yes, given the Indiana game, I know he struggled. He needs more live reps, so I'm happy he went back. He could have made himself more money probably this year by going, but I think he's going to be an overall better just prospect as a whole. Um, and I do like Makai Lemon to that team because you're building up the arsenal for your next quarterback because obviously Gino's just a bridge quarterback. So they know that they're going to have to figure out their quarterback situation next year. And I believe they've got, is it 2 first rounders next year as well from the, what is it, Indy trade, or was that just the one
I think
this
they
year?
have 3 first-rounders. I think the Jets have
Oh,
3
Jesus.
next year. So
Jesus. Okay. So yeah,
they'll be
they'll
well
find a way to
positioned
get a
to move
quarterback.
and get their guy. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Well, I have the Lions here at pick 17, and obviously Taylor Decker's gone, so they have a hole at left tackle. But they were also talking about moving Penei over to left. And Spencer Fanu, this past year, didn't give up a sack, only 5 pressures. Monroe Feeling gave up 2 sacks and 5 pressures, but obviously that's just not all that you put in. But Monroe plays left tackle, so we're going to pencil him in here to Lions at pick 17. Fanu's very good as well, but just position alignment here. And then, so, yeah, you guys got, what do you guys got?
Monroe Freelings, I think he's got the highest ceiling out of any of these tackles, really. I mean, he's only got I think a year of starting experience, but he's got the athleticism and the length and the size. Like, I think he could easily end up becoming the best tackle in this class.
Agree.
Yeah, ditto.
All right. I also have the Vikings here at pick 18, and they need cornerback help. Their tackle play is solidified with Brian O'Neill and Christian Darrisaw. Obviously, Darrisaw was out all year this past year, but I just don't think they let Jeremiah McCoy fall any further here. Obviously didn't play at all last year, but still, that sophomore year was very good at Tennessee, and you just can't let a player like Jeremiah McCoy fall this far.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick if they feel comfortable with his medicals. I think that's
Exactly.
really just all it comes down to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he can go even higher too. I mean, if those medicals get back better, like good, I think he can go even higher than pick 18. It really just depends on those medicals, like you said.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, we got the Carolina Panthers on the clock at pick 19. This is a team that, lucked into the playoffs. You had the whole NFC South shenanigans going on, and they've invested quite a bit in the receiver position these last couple seasons with, Tedero McMillan, Xavier Legette, and then you have Jalen Coker who came in as a undrafted free agent. So I really think the defense needs to continue to improve. They made a lot of signings in free agency with Devin Lloyd coming over and Jalen Phillips. But do you mind pulling up the corners for me?
Yep.
Because you have J.C. Horn, and then you have Mike Jackson and Shell Smith-Wade. So I think you do need to add to that corner room. I just don't know. This might be a little high for one of these corners, but I feel like it's a bigger need. With some of the free agent signings, they addressed a lot of their needs. So now we kind of just, where can we improve the most? And here, I think I want to go with the South Carolina cornerback, Brandon, Sissy? Cece. So I think you add him to that defensive backfield. You add some a little bit more speed, and can continue to improve this Panthers defense.
I mean, yeah, a little bit of a reach, but as long as it fits the right niche for that defense, which I think Carolina can really turn their defense up a notch. They don't really need like a stud at corner. They just need someone who can fill in and play the role well, and I think Cisse can do that. So I like it.
Pair him with J.C. Horn. I think it could do.
I think it's a
dangerous
very solid
back there,
secondary,
so.
and then you got that bolstered pass rush. This could be a very solid Panthers team, especially in a weak South.
All right, so the Cowboys.
Hey,
We back.
So you already took your first pick. We go back up here, Avion Terrell at corner. So you try to fix, some of the corner issues there. You bump Deron Bland to the slot again at the nickel. Linebacker is absolutely terrible. You had Jack Sanborn and Kenneth Murray Jr. and Maris Leofau, by the way. He's not excluded from the stray. They were terrible, downright awful. I had to watch that team, that linebacker core, every single week, miss an angle, miss a tackle. It seemed like almost every play, one of them. Kenneth Murray, thank the Lord, he's off that team. I'm going to be taking a linebacker, and C.J. Allen has fallen to me. I'm very happy with that. I don't really think obviously I could go more into depth about him as a player, but I just feel like this is a great spot for them to end up finding a linebacker. And they do still need offensive line and some other stuff, but that I think can be addressed later.
Yeah, I think Fanu's dropping a lot in this draft, but CJ Allen fits perfectly, like you said, with Dallas, and I think that's a great pick. There's not much to go into it, it's literally just perfect. It made it happen, but yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, I was just gonna quickly jump back in, say Fano can move to guard, he can move to center. He took some reps at center, I believe at the Combine or the Senior Bowl, one of the two. He's a guy who can move all around, and that would definitely probably pique the interest of the Cowboys. But if Jerry is actually serious about being competitive this season, he's going to have to fix the linebacker room, and he didn't do that. You've got DeMarvion Overshown, hopefully finally healthy. You've got Justin Barron as a backup. Then you've got Shamar James at linebacker and Maris Leofau. I hope that Maris Leofau doesn't touch the field, and I would really like it if Shamar James didn't play that much. It's just a bad spot for them because they could use a guard. They've got the TJ Bass currently slated to start at left guard unless they bump Tyler Smith back inside. Tyler Guyton, it kind of proved last year that maybe he's not quite as ready as we thought coming into the draft. He didn't play amazing. You've also got some issues with right tackle. Terrence Steele is just not good. So that whole line has some problems, but you've got your guy. Obviously, Tyler Smith's amazing. Cooper Beebe's fantastic, and Tyler Booker was also really good. There's going to be some players you can grab in this class. I would probably, if you're going to look for a tackle in the second round, if nobody takes him here, I would take Max Hinchor.
Found.
Yeah.
That's fine. You need someone who can set the pace on defense, and C.J. Allen is someone who can do that. Poor run fits lead to poor coverage rolls, leads to bad plays. So if your backer can't set the pace, your defense is going to be off tempo for the whole play, and that's a lot of the reason why Dallas got exposed so much last year.
Yeah, agreed. So I guess we're on to pick 21. You have the Pittsburgh Steelers on the clock, home of the 2026 NFL Draft. So here, you got a couple needs. We still don't know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers. Is he going to be back? Is he not? You have Mason Rudolph and Will Howard on the rosters. Don't know if that really kind of makes me too happy going into this. You got Ty Simpson staring at me right in the face, so that's really intriguing. But also this offensive line, if Broderick Jones has to be the left tackle again, that's going to be some bad news for whoever's playing quarterback. So this cost would be a Spencer Fanu pick right here, and just throw out your best five. They can play anywhere. There's a lot of versatility upon the offensive line. So I'm kind of torn between those two picks here. But what I think I'm going to do is take Spencer Fanu and just throw out my best five and figure it out from there. And whoever plays quarterback, plays quarterback.
I know if there is any Chargers fans watching right now, they are absolutely sick seeing Spencer Fano go right before their pick.
I was literally going to bring up my twin brother is a huge Chargers fan, and I was actually kind of in a pickle because there's a dude here that I really like that's not a tackle. So just go back to the top big board because he's not interior offensive line or tackle. Personally, I think that this Charger. Anyways, he would have killed me if I had Fanu there and this guy that I really like. I really like Emmanuel McNeil Warren. This Chargers defense was a little understaffed. Jesse Minter is gone, but I do think this defense has the proper pieces to continue kind of holding this Chargers team together as they figure out their offensive line problems. I think you can do that to some extent in free agency. I think Elijah Molden, their current free safety, even though McNeil Warren will not play free safety, he was one of the worst safeties in the league. Derwin James is kind of surprisingly still a sub top 10 safety. I think if you have Derwin James play high, where he's a really cerebral player, he plays heads up very often, and you let McNeil Warren kind of really play the nickel safety role or really roll himself into the run fit, I think you get a really solid Chargers secondary that you can live off of even without, I think, again, Jesse Minter did so much of the heavy lifting for that Chargers defense. Why, they were understaffed, but they still looked really solid. But I think McNeil Warren really secures that up because I think there's a big question going into the quality of this Chargers defense heading into next year. And I think McNeil Warren kind of fits a niche that really helps them.
So I want to ask you this then. Do you think that is somewhat similar? Do you think they could utilize him in some ways of how the Seahawks use like Nicky Minwori?
I could see it. Yeah, I could see that. I could see him just being like a crash guy. And again, that would work super well. I think LA's interior is solid, but when it comes to getting on the outside, having an enforcer like McNeil Warren, I think could really add a ton of solid, just overall make the Chargers defense a lot better.
Yeah. All right, so this is a little, or you want to take something real quick? No? Okay. On to the Eagles pick. They've signed a couple wide receivers this offseason. I think they just did earlier today. I saw his number. He's wearing number 0, but I don't remember who it is. They could use another wide receiver here to help free up AJ Brown. I think if you do take a wide receiver, AJ Brown might be mad. And if I'm the Eagles front office, I don't really care because I'm going to try to explain to him that, hey, if there's more elite wide receivers around you, it's helping you get open. It's helping you be in a position where you just have to catch the ball. And that's all you got to focus on. That was obviously an issue for him at some points last season. But it's tough here between, I think, Omar Cooper Jr. and Jordan Tyson. Tyson, obviously, with the medical history, really, really scares me. It's hamstring strain after hamstring strain after hamstring strain. And I wonder to what extent his hamstring is cooked because I think it is pretty poor at this point. It does make me wonder about an edge rusher. You lost Jalen Phillips, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. And you've got, let's see. You've got Nolan Smith, right? I'm drawing a complete blank on who else they have. That's lovely. Anyone want to help me out?
Yeah. What? Talking about for edge?
Yeah.
Let's see. Hold on. Un momento, por favor. So you have Nolan Smith Jr., Jalix Hunt.
Jalix Hunt, yeah. That's really it, to be honest.
I'm thinking this is a team that could take Keldrick Falk. This is a team that I think it fits the best to take Keldrick Falk, and you can let him develop. Because it's not necessarily going to be one of their biggest needs right away. Like he's not going to be asked to day one be an amazing pass rusher. Where he can kind of sit. Obviously, they weren't going to match like the deal that you saw, like you saw for Jalen Phillips. Keldrick Falk is just he can also bump the inside too. I know there's obviously a lot of guys on the inside there, but it's tough. I think it's tough between him and Cassius Howell here. I honestly want to open it up to you guys, or if there's another player that you're thinking. I know they lost Reed Blankenship at safety as well. So there is a potential, unless we already took, I guess we already took all 3 safeties. Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like there's a solid chance where Philly goes best player available. And if it's Jordan Tyson, it's Jordan Tyson. Like, he's
Yeah.
a great player. They do that a lot. Take best player available,
Yeah.
regardless of fit or position. Like how deep they are at the position. I think they go Tyson, but I mean, an edge is just always in play here. Akeem Mesidor, I think they would go if they went an edge. Just high motor guys. Yeah, that's what I think.
I'm gonna roll with Jordan Tyson personally. I
Yeah.
kind of agree. He's best guy available. It's not like a steal at this point. It's really like he's not being It's not like he's like a ninth ranked prospect or anything. But I think in general, the Eagles could use anyone who can help stretch the field. They are at their best when they have so many offensive weapons, and if they can get a third very solid wide receiver on that roster, then it's just going to help them. Like, I don't really see this really backfiring on them in the way that some of their past wide receiver draft picks have gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So there we go. Go ahead and take Tyson. Did you want to add something, Christian?
No, I mean Jordan Tyson. I mean, if he can stay healthy, he's extremely high ceiling. I mean, he's able to get open. He's so quick, and it's just unfortunate that injuries have been kind of derailed his college career. But we'll see how he does in the pros. It looks like I'm back on the clock. Pick 24 with the Cleveland Browns. We took the receiver earlier, Carnell Tate. So I don't know if I necessarily want to go do the quarterback thing. Ty Simpson is another one. Or do we want to ride that roller coaster, the 1-year starter and everything? Or do we just want to build through the trenches again, add some more offensive tackle depth? They made the trade for Titus Howard. They signed Elton Jenkins, Zion Johnson at the guard and center spots. And DeJuan Jones has just not been able to be healthy. So at this point, I think I want to add some more offensive line. They could very well be a Ty Simpson spot here, but I think they're going to roll with who they have at quarterback and wait for the 2027 class, hit that lottery pick. So I'm actually going to go Blake Miller, longtime right tackle starter at Clemson. He's got good size, and I think you slot him at the right, put Titus Howard at the left, and again, you figure out what your best five is and protect, Shador or Deshaun Watson or whoever's back there, quarterback.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with a tackle pick. Yeah,
exactly. I think you do need to work on that offensive line, and like you said, best five out there. I think it's a great pick, and I mean, yeah, that's really all I got.
Cool.
One of the Bears.
Appreciate it.
All right, so I got the Bears. This is my team. We could not get to the quarterback at all last year, and that's why Dennis Allen had to blitz so much and put our corners in one-on-one coverage so much because we couldn't get pressure with our front four. So I'm really debating on whether I want to go with an edge, whether that's Akeem Mesidor, Keldrick Falk, Cassius Howell, or go with an interior defensive lineman, either Peter Woods or Cade McDonald. I've always loved Woods. I love that he's athletic. He obviously wasn't productive in college, getting to the pass rusher, but he's got so much that you can work with. I think I'm gonna go with Woods here.
All right. I don't hate that at all.
it's not a good spot for Buffalo to be in. Honestly, looking at the board, looking at what they need. I was really diehard on the Bills getting C.J. Allen to help fill like the truly Matt Milano-sized hole that their run defense has seen since his departure. Personally, I think I'm going to go a little bit. I don't think it's too much of a reach. I'm going to go with Caden McDonald. I think, is this our first interior defensive lineman off the board?
No, Peter Woods.
Peter Woods.
Oh,
Peter
no,
Woods.
Peter Woods. Yeah, sorry. Still, top 3 interior guy. Buffalo kind of got bullied. Like I went back to watch some Bills Dolphins games this season, and Buffalo, a team that is notoriously beaten Miami and New York in the trenches, was not getting especially on the defensive side, they were not getting the stops that you would expect them to. They kind of got bullied by Miami and New York's much smaller front fives. So I think you got to run defense is incredibly important, right? If you take away a play action game, you take away about 60% of what an offense actually wants to run. So if you can get Caden McDonald just to plug up 1 or 2 gaps of play, it does go a long way for a really good Bills team still.
Yeah, I got nothing. All right, well, pick 27. I've got the 49ers here. And obviously, Trent Williams is getting up there in age. I think they go tackle, and I think they go Caden Proctor. Not Colin's favorite draft guy, but if he gets to sit behind one of the best for a year, or even start, I think Proctor will be great there.
I think if he just gets his weight down, he'll be all right.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Christian Reed.
Nothing?
I don't have too much to say about this. I think the Shanahan offenses play their best when they're running that good old-fashioned wide zone, and tackles are a big part of running wide zones. So you get a good one. It's a pretty big part of the Shanahan scheme is just being able to get outside and allow your running back to make that three-cut read. So he's going to help with that.
Yeah, I think it's a good pick.
So the Texans, they had some problems last season, the CJ Stroud problem. They add David Montgomery. Wide receiver, they should be getting Tank Dell back, potentially. We don't know at what level that'll actually be, but should be getting him back. The offensive line's had a ton of issues. You have Braden Smith, he's your right tackle, Ariante Ursary is your left tackle, Evan Brown at left guard, Jake Andrews at center, and right guard is Wyatt Teller. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of that offensive line. I think that is immediately up there for potential position with Emmanuel Pregnon. I was going to think about taking, or I was really thinking about taking Caden McDonald on the D line. I'm a little scared off by the volume, or rather the lack thereof volume with Caleb Banks. He's a freak in when he does play, which obviously he just had the injury this season. I don't know if he had the bunch of injuries previously, but this season the volume, it wasn't there, and it seems like there's plays where he can get a little lazy, and it's the plays that flash, obviously they're the ones that get posted, but then it seems like on other reps he's just taking the rep off, and I don't love that. I really don't love that. Linebacker is one that kind of stood out to me potentially just because I'm not a fan at all of VJ Speed. Interior, like I said, interior defensive line again. I'm looking at Tommy Togiai, Logan Hall, and then Sheldon Rankins and Naquan Jones. I'm not really a big fan of that interior defensive line group at all. At safety, they added Reed Blankenship. They already have Kalen Bullock. Nickel, they've got Jalen Petre. They've got a really good cornerback room overall. I think this is where you just pencil in a guard pick with Emmanuel Pregnon. And before I do it, I'll just go ahead and ask your guys' thoughts on it.
No, I really like the pick, to be honest.
That works. I think it does. Yeah. Guard play is just so important. So many good teams have guard issues, and it really holds them back. So if you can find someone who's just solid at that role, it really can make such a big difference.
Yeah, Christian, you got anything?
No, I agree. I mean, again, CJ Stroud, you're gonna have to pay him soon, so you have to give him the best shot to showcase what he can actually do, and that's keeping him upright and investing in the guard spots and the offensive line as a whole.
Exactly. I got nothing.
All right. I got 3 picks coming up in a row. I'm excited. The Chiefs are interesting. Because honestly, my favorite pick for them was let me go to my little board here. I really like Cassius Howell for them, and then I really like Kenyon Sadiq. But honestly, I don't even know what I was thinking. Those guys were probably not going to fall that far anyways. I think for me, it's Akeem Mesidor.
Howell's
right there.
Oh, Howell's on?
Yeah, he's there.
Silly. I'm sorry. Yeah, give me Cassius Howell. I know the stockiness is a little bit of a concern, but in a Steve Spagnuolo blitz, when you're sending like 7 or 8, it doesn't matter about your length. It just matters about your ability to get downhill quickly. Does the stubbiness kind of concern me? Yeah. But I think he fits well into a Chiefs defense where most of their defensive strength has always come from the interior of the defensive line, not the exterior. The Chiefs had great defenses and not top tier edge rushers. You question like Akeem Mesidor is a little bit more of a natural edge rusher, but I feel like Cassius Howell is just a bowling ball on some of these like 7-8 down blitzes that Kansas City's going to want to send. I think he works really well in the stunt game as well. If you want to get some of your interior, some action on some stunt action, I think he works really well as the pick guy on those kind of plays. So I think he provides some like sneaky value for Kansas City that Akeem Mesidor may not. So I'm gonna roll with that. What do you guys think before I roll on to my favorite team?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, you covered it all.
All right. I got so sad when Jalen Waddle got traded away. So I want another one. I want Casey Conception from Texas A&M. I want another Jalen Waddle on my team. Bobby Slowick is the offensive coordinator for Miami this year. He was the pass game coordinator for them last year. They still want to run screens, especially with how bad that guard play is going to be. Tackle play is going to be iffy, especially if Austin Jackson gets hurt. He has every year since he's been drafted. So we could pretty much expect that. I think if you can get someone who can just work with A-Chain in the screen game, that goes a long way. Malik Willis needs someone who can get open quickly. I think Casey Conception is one of the best receivers when it comes to getting work done around under 6 yards on a lot of the quick release routes. He's really good at just selling vertical looks early and then creating space underneath. I think it's going to make a big deal on, Miami's probably going to face a lot of 3rd and 8s where it's going to be nice to have Casey Conception as a relief option who can also get like 4 yards after the catch. So I like that. Thoughts?
I like it. There's some, there's a few questions here and there about him. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of his, especially like over Omar Cooper Jr., but I understand where you're coming from 100% with wanting to find a new Jalen Waddle. I overall like Omar Cooper more.
That's fair. I think Conception just fits into Miami's offense more if they're going to run something as similar to
like
if they're still going to run bits of the McDaniel offense. I think having someone who's really good at cutting open or cutting around defenses off those wonky play action looks and those fake swing looks Miami likes to do, I think he's going to be better at that. But that's just more because I'm a Dolphins fan, so I'm just thinking like, where can we find a replacement Waddle?
Remind me, who's their quarterback next year?
Miami, it's Malik Willis.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So he needs someone to throw to, man. I cannot be throwing to Malik Washington, Jalen Tolbert, and Tutu Atwell, which is what Miami currently has at the starting 3.
And enjoy Jalen Tolbert. I found that one.
Deep bomb. I see it coming. And then for my last pick, New England did have a good run defense, but it was not because of their interior. It was mainly because of really good edge and backer play and safety play. I think they go complete. I think they just complete their defense by getting Caleb Banks here. Again, interior defensive line sometimes feels like a luxury pick, where it's like, hey, we could really use a tackle, but I would rather just get a stud on defense who's gonna, serve me really well in the first 2 downs and kind of be shaky and be like, I don't know what I want to do at tackle. And personally, I just don't like the. I'm not even going to say Max from Arizona State. I'm not going to try to butcher his name. I think the Patriots go with Caleb Banks, who's a little bit of a safer option since interior defensive linemen tend to hit at a higher rate. So I think they just get a solid piece there.
Yeah. I got nothing. I do have pick 32. Do you guys want to talk about the Caleb Banks pick, or are we good?
I think the defense is complete. I think we're good.
All right. Well, I have the final pick. I'm gonna go Akeem Mesidor here. Seattle had the third best run defense, and that's Keldrick Falk's strength. They don't really need more help, but I mean that's the draft right here.
Well, let's see what grades we got.
See what they grade it, actually.
Yeah, let's see our grade. We get an S. Or do you not get grades?
Only 3 teams.
Yeah, if you select, okay. Well, there you go.
There's the draft.
I think all of our picks were amazing, and there will be no busts in the first round.
No, none of them.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Zero
movement.
No busts.
We're all correct.
Everyone's going to be all pro.
We got
their first 3 years,
three Ohio State guys in a row. We got 2 Clemson guys in a row, 2 Texas A&M guys in a row. It's definitely going to work out just like that.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
No
we
doubt.
went for color synergy this time.
Well,
Actually, I kind of now that I think about it, I really hope Miami does pull down Dylan Thieneman. I've kind of opened my eyes, because I don't think Delane's gonna be there. So
yeah, I think
who
he'll be
knows?
gone.
All right, what do
Yeah,
you
I
guys
actually-
think? What do you guys think was the like most wild pick that we had out of all these ones? If you had to choose.
The
I
most
don't know.
wild.
Yeah, or
like the
just
most, maybe like the
most
hottest.
unexpected.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Probably love to Baltimore. That's probably the most
Oh yeah, for
insane
sure.
wild one.
Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't fallen to 14, so yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Sounds
who
fair.
the hell thinks he's gonna fall to 14? If he does, that would be a solid situation for Baltimore just to fall in their laps, which is kind of their whole thing. They're pretty good at drafting non-receivers. They
Yeah.
just kind of lock into
As
really
long
good
as it's-
players like every year. It's kind of stupid, and honestly, it might actually happen that Baltimore just falls into objectively probably the best offensive player all around in the draft, just right in their lap at what 14? Yeah, so that's par for the course for them.
What's the
Yeah.
pick not in the top 5 or not in the top 3 that you guys love the most?
Not in the top 3. I love all my picks, and they're the best. No, it's a pick that I really.
I think for me, CJ Allen to Dallas is just like perfect. Like I really like that pick.
I really like Kenyon Sadiq to LA. That is like kind of disgusting. If like Puka Nacua is basically like a 4th tight end for them with how many like C gap and B gap inserts he does. Like they would have 2 potentially like with I think Kenyon Sadiq could easily be elite within like his first year. They could be so good. Like it is kind of ridiculous that the Rams even got the 13th pick because some questionable choices. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this could be like a real game changer for them. So I like that pick the most.
Yeah, for me, I'd go with the Chargers pick of Emmanuel McNeil Warren at safety. I just think he could really, be again pair with Derwin James back there, really solidify that back end on that Chargers defense. I really like that pick there.
Colin?
It's tough. I'm not going to toot my own horn just because I feel like that's kind of a no-go here. I do like
We don't
Cornell
do that here. We
Tate.
don't do that.
I do like Cornell Tate
No,
a
no.
lot.
Okay, wait. Which pick did you like that you made?
I like the Sonny Styles pick a lot.
It's
Oh,
fine.
okay.
It's a good pick.
Yeah, it is a good pick.
It's a good pick.
Yeah.
No, I think it fills a lot of holes for New York. Sonny Styles is a beast. So
I do
Son
like
of a
also
bitch.
the Brandon Cisse pick was, I thought, a pretty good pick as well, considering the board
Yeah,
and whatnot.
I like that pick. That was a sneaky good pick. And it really does fix a lot of Carolina's problems kind of under the radar because we don't really talk about defensive strength enough.
Yeah. I think
No.
Cisse fits in perfect there because you got Mike Jackson. I think is so criminally underrated with JC Horn,
Yeah.
and then Cisse coming in as that third corner. Like I honestly think that makes them a great defense. Obviously, they're adding to their pass rush and everything. They got who's on linebacker that they signed?
Devin Lloyd.
Yeah, Devin Lloyd. I mean, they're getting everyone. That defense is just getting better. And, I mean, obviously, you're going to need to lean on that defense when Bryce Young's your quarterback. So,
Hey.
I'm just being honest.
I mean, you do. Honestly, Carolina has to lean on their defense. Their defense bailed them out of a lot of games they probably shouldn't have won. So, just make it stronger.
The Bryce Young breakout is happening this year.
No,
Okay.
but remember the Falcons game from 2 years
Here
ago.
we
It's
go.
going to happen again.
No, but any last thoughts before we close this one out?
I got nothing.
Where's
Nice.
Diego
This is
Pavia?
good.
Come on. Where's Diego
Is
Pavia?
Diego Pavia going to be like the
Okay,
honor,
wait.
like-
Actually, I do gotta say one thing. Do you guys
I have
think
the
Simpson will
Broncos
go in
training
the
up
first
at
round?
like
Hold on,
Who?
one time.
With quarterback inflation, do you guys see
QB inflation.
Simpson going in the first round?
I
I
think he
do. I think
definitely
the Jets
could.
are going to make the worst decision,
Yeah.
and I think the Jets. I'm sorry, but they just never get it right. And I think they're going to make like a. I don't think Ty Simpson's going to be horrible, but like I think Mekhi Lemon could add so much more to their team. I think that's how. Yeah, I think Mekhi Lemon could do so much more, and they just waited out.
It would be such a Browns thing as well to pick another quarterback after
Yeah.
getting one through
Oh,
last
my
year.
Yeah,
God,
I could
yeah.
see that. Yeah,
Yeah. I was
that
gonna
would
say
be
that
a
too.
classic. Yeah, Browns move right there. Overvalue a quarterback, give him no help, fades out in like 2 years.
I could also see the Steelers doing it. You know,
Yep.
they said they're all in with Will Howard. I don't like that at all.
All in with Will Howard. That I don't even know like a good comparison. I guess we're all in with Kim Jong Un. It's probably my
Oh my
best. My
God.
next. He's going to blow up your chances of success unless you are trying to tank. Yeah, honestly, I
Oh
could
my
see them
God.
going to the quarterback. I mean, Joe Flacco was in free agency. I don't understand why you couldn't just take him. I would probably take Joe Flacco over Will Howard. That is like, yeah, let's give Ted Bundy the gun. All right, he's running our offense this year.
I agree, bro.
So,
Oh, Jesus.
thank you to a lot of sports.
Yeah, I can
Sorry,
also, I guess,
we can
you know,
cut some of this, but
no,
I didn't
no, we
curse.
can keep it. It shows character.
Yeah,
I
keep it
didn't
in.
curse.
Keep it in.
Yeah.
It's good, but I think, you know, given all the frustration around JJ McCarthy, I think for a second, if he's like assuming that Ty Simpson's on the board, I think for a second they have to consider it, not necessarily because they're going to take him, but because of how poorly JJ McCarthy's actually played.
Yeah.
I think he's truly, truly awful. All due respect to him, I'm not a quarterback. I can't throw the football, but I do not think he's a good NFL quarterback. And yeah, you know, I hope he improves. You know, I hope he's able to get better, whatever. But I think looking back at Michigan, again, he handed the ball off a lot, and that's most of what he was asked to do. It helped a lot that he had great running backs there. He could also do a lot of play action stuff, whatever. I really wonder if going back, you know, you watch the film later a couple of years down the road and you're like, wow, you can clearly see he's underdeveloped. He's not ready. He's not good. He's not whatever on that film. So I think maybe as a formality, they have to look. I would say the Dolphins could potentially, but obviously they just signed Malik to that contract, so that kind of takes him out of it.
Sorry, that I had like a heart attack there. Please don't draft a quarterback, Miami. I will not be on Earth the next day if that is what occurs. Just let Malik give him a shot. There's no reason to draft a quarterback. I had like a heart attack there. I'm sorry.
All right, well, that wraps it up. Thank you again to Christian Wisk for coming on.
Yes, thank
you know,
you.
big
Thank
guest,
you.
and this will not be
Yeah.
his last appearance. We're looking
Hopefully
forward to
not,
having
yeah, I
you
would-
back
yeah.
on. Hopefully not.
Yeah,
And thank you
I
again.
appreciate you guys.
Thank you again, Novana Sports, for everything, and Dr. Joshua Greer. And that'll be it for episode 4. Thank you all for watching. Make sure like, subscribe, and keep coming back. We're gonna be here every week, and yeah,
And
that's
share
it.
to your friends. Let
Yep.
them know we outside. We always making film videos. All right, have a good one.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Yep. See ya.